Night nine of our 30-day social media revival. I'm still standing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited about the speaker, the woman of God that is coming on tonight. Her testimony is so powerful. People of God, as you come in, just begin to hit tag and share. Eyes have not seen nor ears have heard what God wants to do in you and through you. I need you to tag 7 people on tonight, 7 people you love, 7 people you care about, 7 people you want to motivate. I know it's a lot of people out enjoying Memorial Night, but Memorial Day night, but watch this. It's a lot of us who need God. It's a lot of us who are committed. It's a lot of us that's going to say by any means necessary, this comes first. So people of God, very quickly, I need you to come in tagging and sharing like crazy. Tagging 7 people you love, 7 people that you want to motivate. I truly believe, people of God, that when you can uplift people in the midst of what you're going through, when you can inspire somebody else in the midst of how you're feeling, that God can really begin to move for you. The woman of God that I'm bringing on tonight, powerful woman. I'm talking about God has blessed her on a whole nother level financially, but you better believe that she got to go through some things to get there. I'm excited about what she's going to speak on. Y'all already know I can't get started until everybody is on here who's supposed to be on here. So what my taggers and sharers at, man? What my taggers and sharers at, man? What my taggers and sharers at, man? Blessings upon, watch this, everybody that begin to tag and share. It's the first seed, people of God, that you can put in the ground. Let me give some shout outs for some obedient people. Today, I need some people who gonna team up with me, people of God, that don't mind saying, I ain't never scared. I'm here with you, evangelist. Watch this. I'm teaming up with you, Dr. Shakira, to make sure that everything, watch this, break loose in my household. I'm tired of being in bondage. I need some people of God, that tonight they're going to be transparent and watch this. Their ears are open to receive. So let me shout out some people who are tagging and sharing. Tamika, where you been, babe? Shout out to you for coming in tonight, tagging and sharing. Eronique Janae, thank you for tagging and sharing. Mia Rose, thank you for tagging and sharing. Come on. Delisa, of course. I love you, Queen. You've been rocking with us every night. Thank you for tagging and sharing. Come on in. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Apostle Angela, I love you. Come on in. Shalonda, thank you for tagging and sharing. Shanita, of course, thank you for tagging and sharing. Come on in, people of God. Come on. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Come on in. Not today, Satan. Every time I jump on live on certain days, and all of a sudden it feels like the enemy choking the the life out of me. That's when the revival be like going crazy. The same thing happened when Prophetess Natasha was on, and y'all see that type of word she bought. I need y'all to come on. Where my taggers and sharers at? Where my taggers and sharers at? I can't get started. Baby, let me tell you something. Y'all can sit there, baby, with y'all collard greens, y'all black eyed peas, y'all ribs, y'all potato salad, baby, and get the word too. Daisy, what's up, Queen? Come on. Where my taggers and sharers at? Let me open this. Y'all give me a minute. Begin to tag and share, please. Come on. Begin to tag and share. Come on in, people of God. Come on. Come on. Don't just be here. I need you to come in, tagging and share it. Exactly, Corral. Every time that happens, I don't know why that happens, but the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. I need y'all to come in, tagging and sharing for just 3 more minutes right now, people of God. Tag 7 people. The number is 7 on tonight. We are on night 9 of our 30-day social media revival, and God has been moving tremendously. We are on night 9 of our 30-day social media revival, and I've been getting so many testimonies. So people of God, if you can come on in, tag and share. Tag and share. It's really simple. The only way we can come on one accord, people of God, is because you guys are watching virtually. It's by simply, watch this, if I'm saying something you like, or the speaker is blessing you, doing something simple like commenting, tagging, sharing. It don't cost you nothing just to inspire somebody else in the process of what you got going on. It don't cost you a dime. People of God, do you hear what I'm saying to you? It costs you nothing to be an inspiration to someone else. So I need y'all to come in tagging and sharing. Oh, I see my help. There go Latoya. Thank you for coming in, sis. Uh-oh, there you go. There go Don. Thank you for coming in, sis. Come on, come on, come on. Help me wake up social media right now. Everybody enjoying barbecue ribs and chicken on tonight, but baby, God is still going to move. Shakina, thank you for tagging and sharing. Brandy, I love you, sis. Thank you for tagging and sharing. Come on, Keisha. Thank you for tagging and sharing. Era J. Poole. Thank you, hon, for tagging and sharing. Come on, it don't cost you nothing to be a blessing to somebody else who might need it. I thank you so much by grace for tagging and sharing. Come on, people of God. I need you to push Arthur Janae Thomas. I love you. Let's go. Tag and share. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Tiara, thank you for tagging and sharing. Just 60 more seconds. And I'm going to bring the woman of God on. Sis, if you are on here, just comment below. I'm on. For some reason, sis, it's saying that your camera is off. It's when you're commenting, it's not showing me a green camera. So I need you to go off and come back in. Log out and come back in. Tamika, thank you for tagging and sharing. Barry, thank you for tagging and sharing. Brandy Walker, blessings upon you for tagging and sharing, people of God. Come on, Katrina Hinch, blessings upon you for tagging and sharing. Come on, Hudie Carter, thank you for tagging and sharing. Come on, eyes have not seen nor ears have heard. Sis, if you can do me a favor and send a request to come on. Hallelujah. Thank you for tagging and sharing. Every night it's been a different minister coming on, night after night after night after night. Last night I ministered myself personally on night 8. We've had so many different ministers coming forth. Tonight we are on night 9 of our 30-day social media revival. So I need you, people of God, I need you to watch God work tonight. When I tell you this woman keeps it blood raw, all the way raw. Y'all are going to be blessed on so many levels on tonight. I'm just waiting for her to comment that she's there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Come on, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love you too, Kimberly. I'm excited. How are you? Listen, let me first say thank you for coming on my platform. You already have yours too. But thank you for stopping in the midst of your own family time to come and be a blessing to all of us on night 9 of our 30-day social media revival. I'm going to let God have his way. I'm going to back up and release you, woman of God. I'm excited to hear what God has given you.
My sister, can you hear me?
Yes, if you guys can hear, I need everybody to comment below. We can hear you. Hallelujah.
If y'all can hear me, let me know. Give me some hearts. I'm telling y'all tonight, I'm going to give y'all a disclaimer before I even get started, baby.
Yes.
I ain't no evangelist. I ain't no preacher. I'm a treacher. I'm going to tell y'all right now. My students tell y'all all the time, Coach, you be teaching, preaching, and testifying all at the same time. So I want you to put your wigs on tight. I want you to go ahead. If you're in the bed with Billy Ray, get on up, because the word that I'm getting ready to give y'all today, this gonna bless somebody's soul. It's gonna bless your whole life. It wasn't by accident, Shakira, that you had me at number 9 for tonight. It wasn't by accident, because 8 is new beginnings. So last night, you were setting them up for their new beginning. You guys, you were setting them up for their new beginning. And I was on that word last night, and I heard every single thing that you said. So when she asked me to give my testimony, I didn't know what night I was going to be on, but it didn't matter what night I was on. I just knew that the Lord was going to use my testimony to bless somebody. See, this testimony right here, It's going to be a testimony that's going to be a roadmap for some of y'all's life for the rest of your life. So let me give you this disclaimer right now. I'm not telling you my testimony because I want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me because guess what? I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all that disclaimer first before I get started. Get you some tissue. I hope you're ready because I'm going to go ahead and get started from the time that I was 11 years old. I'm not going to talk about when I was smaller than 11. I'm going to just give y'all some juice. I'm not going to give you the tea. Stop hanging around people that got the tea. That's why you ain't where you need to be right now. I'm going to talk about from the time I was 11 years old, what happened to me and how the enemy tried to set me up. And not only set me up, these are some of the tactics that he using on some of y'all right now at the age of 40 and 50. And that's why you in bondage and can't get to where you need to be, because what he did to me at 11, some of y'all going through that right now at 40. See, my mama was a single mama. She was a praying woman. She was a working woman. She did what she had to do. And guess what? My babysitter was my mom's best friend's son was the babysitter. He was 17 years old, baby, and took advantage of me. I lost my virginity at 11 years old to my babysitter. See, what the enemy was trying to do was put perversion in me at the age of 11 when I couldn't even understand and know what was going on. See, some people playing with baby dolls at 11. I'm sitting here crying because I'm trying to figure out why this is happening to me. The enemy was trying to get in my mind then. He was setting me up for something later on in life. But let me tell y'all something. Even if the enemy is setting you up, God has a ram in the bush to get you out. So even at 11, he was trying to get in my mind to make me feel like I was less than, because I didn't have my dad in my life. I didn't have a male figure in my life at the time that could show me the things and the ways. That's why I love my husband, that can show me the way that a girl or a young woman should be loved and taught. Because when I associated with men, I associated abandonment. Some of y'all are going through abandonment right now at 40, and you don't love yourself because you feel abandoned your whole life. But let me tell you something. God is going to send somebody to you that's not going to have the abandonment spirit. They're going to have the capture spirit, where they're going to be able to let you know you are enough. I love you with your flaws and all. That's one thing about my husband. He loved me with my flaws and all, because none of us are perfect. So at 11, that set me up to get into a relationship, because when we're young women, sometimes if we ain't got our daddy in our life, we start looking for love in all the wrong places, when really we got a daddy that sets high and looks low. And guess what? He loved us unconditionally. But some of y'all wasn't raised in church. Let me just keep it real. Some of y'all became a product of your environment. So therefore, because you was a product of your environment, you believed the things that was spoken to you. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. So I went from 11 years old, losing my virginity, crying in the bathroom, bleeding, didn't know what in the world was going on, was scared to tell my mama. And then when I did, because she was a young mother, you know, when she came off, she was mad, she was angry, she was calling me names and stuff like that, which later on in life she asked me to forgive her for. But at the time she was mad because, you know, I think she was more so mad at herself than mad at me. But sometimes as parents, we may say things to our children, and y'all catch this. Be mindful of what you say to your kids when they're young, because they might answer to it when they're old. So she told me those things. And guess what I did? At 14, got into a relationship with somebody that was way older than me. Guess again, 17. He's 17, 18 years old. I'm 14 years old. Get pregnant at 14 years old, because my very first baby would have been grown right now. Got pregnant at 14, but God did not allow me to have that baby. I was at school in high school, 9th grade, and had a miscarriage, and I was upset. But God told me, anything that happened in your life, I allowed it. Nobody didn't take your baby. I was upset. I was having a mental breakdown. I was telling God I didn't want to be here no more, because the enemy knew that baby I thought was going to be my saving grace, when I should have been looking to the Savior himself to save me. But I'm thinking, that baby, that's my unconditional love. That's my daughter, my Tia Janae. She gonna be the one that give me the love I didn't get from my father. I get love from my mama, but not like I want to, because she gotta work and take care of these babies. She gotta do what she gotta do. And some of y'all doing that right now. You doing what you gotta do because you a single mama and Ray Ray ain't helping you. He driving your car and picking up other women and then acting crazy when he gotta pick you up. So therefore, in your mind, you feel like you gotta settle. So in my mind, I felt like I had to settle, Shakira. So guess what I did? I joined a gang at 14 years old, living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, going to East Central High School. Joined a gang because why? I wanted to be accepted. I was looking for acceptance, love, and exception in all the wrong places. Joined a gang, got with a boyfriend who was 19 years old. I'm 14 years old. He tearing my butt up. We fighting, black in my eyes, all of this at 14 years old, dealing with domestic violence, telling that I'm less than. Guess what? One day we get into a shootout on the highway. This is how I know God, the enemy tried to kill me when I was young, because he knew what was going to happen right now at this very moment. He knew that somebody on this live was going to need to hear my voice and be able to get themselves free from that bondage that they in right now. But at 14 years old, gangbanging, I was crazy, shooting people. And God even looked out for me, because guess what? I could have murdered somebody at that time and then been in jail for the rest of my life. Girl, had a shootout with them. They chasing me down the street. I'm running. The pavement is so hot. Y'all, I had holes this side in the bottom of my feet. I was running for my life, literally. Some of y'all are running for your life right now. You running from the enemy right now because he's trying to take your life. At 14 years old, I'm running down the street trying, they busting guns at men, trying to blow my brains out. And then my mama had to sit and pick pebbles out of my feet. And she made a decision at that moment and said, guess what? Before I let them put you in a box, baby, I'm going to go ahead and send you back home. I'm going to send you back home to live with your grandma that I've never even lived with or never been around. She said, I'm going to send you there because I'd rather see you somewhere than see you in a box. I see you headed down the wrong road. I've done all I can do. See, right now, some of y'all is feeling like you've done all you can do, but you're still standing. See, they tried to take me out, but I'm still standing. They was trying to take me out, running holes in my feet, but I was still standing. Only to go back home to Ohio, where I'm from. And guess what? My dad wasn't around. He was in and out of jail. So I was looking for love in all the wrong places, still looking for love. See, sometimes y'all don't get to the root of the problem. You talk about the troubled child, but you never deal with the fact why they troubled. I was looking for my daddy. I was looking for my mom. I was looking for everybody. I was looking for love. And God kept coming to me, even in the midst, kept coming to me when people was telling me that I'm less than, that I'm not going to be nothing, that I'm going to live in the projects, that I'm going to have a house full of kids. And that was being drilled into me every single day. I wasn't going to have nothing. No man don't want no fat woman. I never had a problem in the man department. I'm just saying. No man don't want no fat woman. You ain't gonna be this, you ain't gonna be that. But my mama told me it ain't where you live, it's how you live. And only thing that's gonna happen to you is the things that you believe. So see, I never believed that about myself. I never answered to that. I never answered to when I was being called whores and hoes and you not gonna be this. And every single time I was being told that, I was telling myself, you better than this. You will be something. You're gonna do something with your life. And then turned around at 16 and got violated by a family friend. And I have a son right now who's 25 years old due to what happened to me, but I'm still standing. I have a 25. That's why it took me so long to write my book, because I didn't want to tell my son's story, even though I wanted to tell my story to free somebody else. But I had to know that he was okay with it. He said, Mommy, tell your story. Because guess what? There's women out here right now that have been beat, that's been raped, that's been molested by family members, that's been told they not going to be nothing, that's been told that they going to be in the projects, that's been told that they going to have a house full of kids, that's been told that they stupid, that's been told that they fat. Honey, men like fat women too. Big girls are in. I'm just want to tell you that you're still standing. You're still standing. You still standing for a reason. The reason why you catching so much hell. See, I had to ask God, why are you doing this to me? Because at first I was saying, God, why are you doing this to me? Because I knew that nobody could do anything to me if the Lord didn't allow it. See, the reason why God is allowing you to catch so much hell right now, because he's trying to grow your faith. Some of y'all keep being in the kindergarten year after year after year after year. You've been under your pastor's teaching for the last 10 years and your attitude's still the same. You've been under your preacher's teaching for the last 10 years. Your heart's still the same. You've been under the same preaching for 10 years, but you still going to the club. You still fornicating. You still got Ray, John, and Boo Boo in your phone for when you can hit him up after the club. But then you're going to sit up in church on Sunday and then wonder why it's happening to you. See, some things are generational, but then there's some things that you made the decision. Guess what? The hurt wasn't your problem, but the healing is your problem. You got to be responsible for your own healing. You might didn't hurt yourself, because guess what? If you don't ask God to heal you, you may still be standing, but you may be standing alone. See, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be standing alone. You want to have some good sisters like a Shakira standing with you. You want to have some, you want to have some Talia standing with you. You want to have some Lady Gail standing with you, and some Shalandas standing with you. But sometimes when you being hurt people hurt people. So guess what? You'll bleed on the people that didn't even cut you. So Shakira, I kept being told I wasn't going to be anything. Now I'm 16 years old and I'm with a baby, and I'm like, Lord, I'm a junior in high school. What I'm going to do with a baby? What I'm going to do with this? My mama lived way few states over, 1,300 miles away. What I'm going to do with a baby? One day I came home and I said, Lord, I don't want to be like this no more. I don't want to feel like I'm less than. I don't want to feel like I'm beneath the earth. I don't want to feel like all of this stuff that I was feeling on the inside, because even though I knew that I was worth more, people, you know, sometimes words do hurt. Sometimes you will take in those words when you start seeing things happening in your life and you saying, Lord, why can't I get a breakthrough? Why did I have to be dealt this hand? God dealt you the hand because he knew that you can handle it. He dealt you the hand because if you knew the magnitude of the blessing, you would understand the magnitude of the storm. So by the time I was 19, I was pregnant. By the time I was 19, I was married with 2 children. My husband was a drug dealer, but he was a great man. He showed me unconditional love, but he was married to the streets. Wasn't your typical drug dealer, though. He wasn't out late at night. You wouldn't even know that he sold drugs. None of that kind of stuff. And I said, guess what? I said, when we were young, that was cool. But now I want to change my life. We got these babies. We got to do something different. We did. And what I was told, we went and stayed in the projects, but we only stayed in the projects for 90 days. We stayed in the projects for 90 days when I was 19 years old. My mother sent my brother to live with me, who was only 4 years younger than me. So now I got my 2 children and I got my brother. And I said, Lord, what I'm supposed to do with a 15-year-old who won't listen to his own mama? But he said, I'm going to give you the tools that you need to be able to look out for everybody. See, I've always been the person that was the lookout person, the person that had to carry the whole family until God released me from that. See, some of y'all carrying weight, and the reason why you feel like you're being weighed down because you're taking on assignments that God never told you to pick up. I'm just saying. I'm going to say that again. Some of y'all taking on assignments that never was your assignment in the first place. God never told you to do it. You just did it because your emotions got wrapped up, because your heart got wrapped up. And every time I felt like the enemy was knocking me down, God, it was like I was in a round with Tyson in his prime, and we was in round number 13. Every time he knocked me down, I got up again. Every time I heard that voice, you're not going to be nothing, I told myself I was going to be something. Every time I kept looking at my children and said, y'all, we might not have it right now, but we going to have it one day. Every single time that I sat there and I cried out to God, it might have not came when I wanted it to come, but it came right on time. And then I left my husband because he didn't want to get out the game. I left him only to go to something worse. Once again, patterns. It was just the same pattern. If you show up at the same bar, you're probably going to get the same John, just with a different name. I kept having the same patterns. Went into another relationship. Got in that relationship, y'all. And guess what? I went from one person that was selling dope to a person that was doing check scams. And I didn't know nothing about nothing. I didn't know nothing about this. This person way older than me. And that was another thing. I had daddy issues. So that's why I was dating men 2 and 3 years younger than my father. Because guess what? I was looking for love in all the wrong places. And even though the enemy was sending them and it felt like I was falling down, I was still standing. I
Yes.
got in that. It was an abusive, very violent, very not good relationship. And God kept trying to get me out of it. And some of y'all in a relationship right now that you trying to get out of. And it seemed like every time you let it go, every time you walk away, he come back and swindle you back in. Every time you say you finished, he go buy you something and sweet talk you and slide it, and you slide him back on in, or he get in your DM and tell you something that nobody else have told you. So he playing on your
My.
emotions. And now you let him show back up. And then you wonder why when God stand you up, you get knocked back down like Tyson in his prime. So then I get in this relationship, y'all, and I was in this relationship for 5 years. One day out the clear blue, the financial crimes department come knocking on my door. But before that happened in Shakira, in 2005, all of this stuff was going on. In 2005, I thought I was going to die. That was the worst year of my life. Every single person I love got taken away from me. My baby brother was supposed to go to the NFL. He was one of the best football players you could ever meet. He was all on ESPN. NFL coaches was coming to my mama house saying, just let your boy play for me. And I said, guess what? I don't want you to get in no trouble. Whatever need to be done, I'm going to do it. I want you to just stay in school. Go ahead. I'm going to take care of you while you in college, because my mama was sick. She had my nephew, and I knew that she couldn't provide for my brother. So I told God, I said, look, I'm going to go out here and not only make it for my mama, my nephew, my other brother, I'm going to make it happen for my brother that's in college and my 2 children. I told him, don't you do nothing wrong. Don't get yourself in no trouble, because, baby, you going to the NFL and you going to be our meal ticket out. But God had different plans. See, some of y'all right now is waiting on somebody else to be your meal ticket when God is the only ticket that you need. He the golden ticket, like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. He's the reason why you still standing. You putting your hope and dreams in everybody else when all your hopes, dreams, aspirations, everything should only be in one thing and one person and one man only, and that's the Lord himself. He is the reason why you still standing. So I did that, Shakira. One day I'm leaving a card party. I used to gamble real heavy. I'm leaving the card party. I get a phone call from my father in the middle of the day. This is what I hear on the other end of the phone. Your sister is dead. This is what I get from my father. Come to find out, my sister was leaving a funeral, 17 years old, 1 month shy of her 18th birthday and 5.5 months pregnant. A drunk driver ran a stop sign and killed my only blood sister and my nephew. Y'all, I thought I was going to lose my mind. I had to get on medication. I told my mama I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to live no more. I told him I didn't want to be bothered with people, because guess what? Why are you letting all of this stuff happen to me? I was angry with God. Why are you letting me keep going through devastating relationship after relationship, let down after let down? Now my only sister, who looked to me as I couldn't do no wrong in her eyes, but in my eyes, she was the best thing too, because she was my only little sister. I had brothers, but my only little sister. Killed in a car accident. And I said, Lord, I can't take no more. A couple of months later, my NFL brother that I thought was going to the NFL, that was going to be our meal ticket out, got indicted on charges because a crackhead said that he robbed her at knife point for $100 in a cordless cell phone. If you think I'm making it up, go look it up. That's why I said I will never be poor and black again. I got to know the system. Some of y'all are still standing because of the knowledge that you have. God gave you the knowledge to get out of situations. We didn't have that knowledge. 2006, my 2005, my sister get killed. 2006, my brother get indicted. Couple of months later, my daddy get indicted on charges of RICO, saying, and I'm thinking, like, I finally got my daddy. I finally get to build this great relationship with this man that I've always wanted to have a relationship with, but he was sick himself. He was on and off of drugs and in and out of jail and had his own battles and issues that he was battling. So I wasn't holding it against him, but I was hurt. He didn't know how to be a daddy because he didn't have, I keep telling people, it don't come with no handbook on how to be no parent. He did the best he could with what he had. So he gets indicted on RICO charges. And God kept showing me and kept telling me, get out of this relationship. He kept telling me to get out of the relationship I was in. So sometimes when we won't do what God told us to do, he'll speed up the process. That's why you're still standing right now, because some of y'all got blocked from being dead right now. See, y'all think when I say I'm blessed, you think it's money. Money ain't involved. Another Another day on your life is a blessing. Another hour with your children is a blessing. You being in your right mind is a blessing. Your limbs being able to work, that's a blessing. I'm just trying to tell somebody something today.
Hallelujah.
See, I don't look like what I've been through, and
Hallelujah.
I thank God for it. So now my
Hallelujah.
daddy get indicted on charges. I go to my father's trial because guess what? Even if he wasn't there for me, I was still going to be there for him. I sat in there in that courtroom. I sat in the back of the room. Next thing I know, the prosecutor points at me and said, we're indicting his daughter on RICO charges as well for a financial crime, the same that he was doing. But let me show you. It might look bad to y'all. See, all of this stuff I'm telling you it looked bad, but this was a setup for a come up. So guys, they pointed me out, humiliated me in front of people. This wasn't even my trial. It should have been a mistrial, but it wasn't. See, they let it go on. They pointed me out. I had nothing to do with his case. And they said, guess what? Now we're indicting her on charges because the person that I was with at the time, that's what everybody was into. And so guess what? They were indicting me. 17 co-defendants. And just because I was with the person that showed me what to do, guess what they said? I was the ringleader. They used my education against me. She the only one that got a college education. Some of my co-defendants was old enough to be my grandparents, but I'm still standing. These people had rap sheets taller than me. These people had been in and out of jail. I had never been in trouble a day in my life. So guess what? Even when I was doing wrong, I knew to call on Jesus. When I was doing wrong, I was putting up for a rainy day. Because one thing I always knew, that everything that happens got to come to an end sometime, and I wasn't no dummy. But at the same time, I still didn't get out the relationship and listen to God like he told me to. So he said, well, since you won't listen to me, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the process. So I'm going to allow you to get charged with a crime that can send you to prison. Since I can't get you out the relationship, I'm going to go ahead and set it up on a way that I know you're going to get out. But guess what? I'm the person that paid for everybody's attorney because I was the one that was sitting on a pretty penny. So I paid for everybody's attorney. My attorney calls me one day and he said, because I was going to take my case to trial. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't taking a case for nobody. I said, I'm not telling on nobody, but I'm not taking no case neither. I said, so y'all going to have to take me to trial. Y'all going to have to do your job and find me guilty because I wasn't talking to no police. I didn't have nothing to say. If I wasn't under arrest, I'm walking out and I'm still standing. Yes. So I walked out. He called me one day. He said, I need you to come to my office, but I need you to come alone. I don't want you to bring your people with you. In other words, my significant other, who's my co-defendant. I don't want you to bring them with you. I walked in the room. He sat down, and I don't even drink, Shakira. He said, baby, you might need a drink for this one, but let me tell you what happened. I'm still standing. So I went in the room, I sat down, I said, now you know I don't drink. He said, but this one you gonna need a drink for. I said, I don't drink. He said, well, let me tell you something. I can't be your attorney and your boo's attorney because they already signed a statement that said if you go to trial, they will testify against you. I said, now I know you lying. Not the person that introduced me said they gonna turn on me. But all of it was necessary. See, some of y'all going through that right now. Y'all being betrayed by people that was your friend for 25 years. See, their season is up. You had to get betrayed because they can't go with you to the next level. You won't be standing if you stand next to them too much longer because they're going to drain all of the energy out of you. They're going to suck the life out of you. They're going to take everything that God has put in you. They're going to make sure that you're not standing because they sitting. See, a hater don't want to see you doing better than them. I ain't going to even go there yet. I'm still standing. So I went ahead and went on the court like a G. I took it on the chin like a G. You know, that's what we do when we so sold out to people that's not even committed to us. See, some of y'all sold out to people that ain't even committed to you. You are option to them, but you sold out to them when you should be sold out to Jesus. But that's a whole nother story. I'm gonna go there in a minute. So so a little bit after that, they move out and the relationship is over, Shakira. So my attorney said, the best thing for you to do is go get you a job while you're going back and forth to court. So I go get a job. Who else do I meet is Mr. Wrong. He 3 years younger than my daddy, sweet talker, saying everything that I wanted to hear, everything that I thought that I needed to hear. I'm already broken. I'm already hurt. I've already had betrayal at its highest level. So I said, guess what? You know, I'm going through this case. I don't know if we can be committed because I don't even know what's going to happen at the end of the day. I don't know if I'm going to prison. I'm praying, Lord, please don't let me go because my mama not well. Both of my brothers already in prison. My mama got my nephew. She ain't going to be able to take on my 2 kids too, and she already sick. So little while before I got sentenced, I went to court for an entire year. Little while before it was time for me to get sentenced, 3 weeks before it was time for me to get sentenced, I found out I was pregnant by Mr. Wrong. And on top of that, I'm an insulin dependent diabetic at the time, 300 plus pounds. Insulin dependent diabetic. So when I went to court, I stood in front of the judge, and this is the thing that I didn't say. The whole time I was going to court for that year, the prosecutor on the case never came down. You know, usually when you're going to court for something, they start out with the max amount of years. And as you go back to court, they bring it down, they bring it down, they bring it down, they bring it down. But see, she was trying to make a name for herself. She was a new prosecutor. She wanted me to pay. But the charges held 2 to 8 years in prison. Now, mind you, for somebody that ain't never been in trouble a day in their life, don't know nothing about the system, but walking in there with my faith, I said, guess what? She said 8 years from the very first day I went to court. I went back to court again, 8 years. I went to court 6 months later, 8 years. I went back to court on my sentencing day. She still was asking the judge for 8 years. New beginnings. See, I keep telling y'all I'm Joseph. I'm going to tell y'all why in a minute. So she never came down off the 8 years, Shakira. She wanted me to do the 8 years so bad. She was gung-ho. She had people from the bank in there. She had people from different organizations who lost money along the way. And I kept telling people I was the female Robin Hood. But at that time, what I went to jail for wasn't even for what I did. So I said, I guess I got to take it on the chin because I didn't go to jail for what I did. I went to jail for what I didn't do. So maybe that was a trade-off with me and Jesus. See, some of y'all out here walking around on grace, it ain't because you ain't did nothing. It's because you ain't get caught. It's because he didn't allow you to go to jail because some of y'all mentally probably couldn't have handled it. You probably would have cracked up along the way because the stuff that I seen, if your mind wasn't strong, you couldn't handle it.
Yes.
But I'm still standing.
Yes.
So guess what? I go to court and I told my lawyer, I said, I'm not taking her deal. That ain't no deal. She never came down off of 8 years. I said, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to change my plea today to guilty, and I'm going to leave it in God and the judge's hands. See, this is the thing. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. Some of y'all feel like you don't qualify for God to bless you. You don't qualify for the breakthrough. You don't qualify for the favor. Favor is fair. You already paid your debt. You don't gotta keep asking for forgiveness for people who ain't even qualified to give it to you in the first doggone place. If God forgave you and God is for you, who do you care is against you? So I stood in that courtroom with all those big corporate people against me, and my judge said this. She said, do you have anything to say for yourself? I said, yes. I said, Judge, if you're going to send me to prison, can you at least let me have my baby first? Because I know they're not going to give me the care that I need in there for my health, because my health was horrible. I was doing 9 shots between pricking and sticking and giving myself insulin 9 times a day. I said, guess what? I know they're not going to give me that quality top line care that I need because my pregnancy is high risk. She looked at me. She said, first she came off hard, but what I didn't know at the time is that she was a Christian. And even though it looked bad, God still sent me help in the courtroom through my judge. She looked at me and she said, you should have thought about that when you didn't cooperate with the police. You didn't talk to them. They tried to talk to you. You wouldn't talk. You wouldn't cooperate. You wouldn't do nothing they asked you to do. So you're going to jail. I'm just letting you know that today. You're going to prison. Matter of fact, you ain't just going to jail. You going to prison. See, it's a difference between jail and prison. Some of y'all done did a day or a night in the county jail and talk about you been to jail. No, you ain't been to prison. When you go to prison, then we got something to talk about. Don't talk to me about no county jail stays. I'm talking about some prison time. So she looked at me, but then she turned around and looked at the prosecutor and she said, this lady ain't never been in no trouble. This lady ain't killed nobody. I'm not about to give her no 8 years. I don't care who lost guess what? Guess what? I'm giving you the minimum, which is 2 years. You'll be eligible for early release in 6 months. File with your lawyer. If you don't get in no trouble, we can talk. We can revisit this in 6 months. So in 6 months after I turned, but then she even showed me some more grace, Shakira. She could have had me arrested and hauled off that day. She said, I'm going to give you time to get your affairs in order, because I told her my mama is sick. She going to have to take in my children. I'm going to have to move her in my house. I'm going to have to adjust some things and all of this stuff. And with tears in my eyes, I was still standing because it looked bad. My ex-husband was in prison. I was in prison. I was going to prison. My brothers was in prison. My mama was sick. My sister was dead. My daddy was gone. Everything that was stacked against me, I was still standing.
My God.
She said, if you 1 minute late turning yourself in, that 2 gonna turn into 8. So I went and turned myself in on the day. 30 days later, I was in jail. And y'all, this is the thing. They sent me to a pre-release in Columbus, Ohio, called Franklin pre-release. It's for all people that go to jail, but specifically for pregnant people. If you pregnant, you gotta go there. There's some people there that's not pregnant. So I was 7 months pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant. I was, getting my insulin regimen every day. I was doing everything, taking care of myself. And I'm like, Lord, my mama was every weekend. My mama was at a different prison. One weekend she was at a prison seeing my brothers. They were cellies. Then the next weekend she was at a prison seeing me, bringing my children to see me. She was tired. She was wore down. You can see it in her eyes. And I said, Mommy, when I get out of here, you ain't never got to worry about nothing else a day in your life. I don't care how hard I got to work, how hard I got to grind to get it the right way. Even though I was taking care of her before I was gone, when I was doing it the wrong way, I said, when I do it the right way, you gonna be straight. You ain't doing none of this in vain. She just kept saying, Tiff, I'm tired. And with tears in my eyes, I was still standing. It was breaking my heart. But sometimes God will allow things to break your heart to fix your vision.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. Sometimes God will allow things to break your heart to fix your vision. The reason why he allowed you to break up with Ray Ray and your heart is broken because he couldn't give you Billy, who your real husband, because guess what? Ray Ray in the way. So he got to allow your heart to get broken so he can fix your vision, so you can get the husband that he trying to send you anyway, and then you'll appreciate him when you get him. So guess what? I was in prison. My father was in prison. My sister was deceased. Both of my brothers was in prison. All 3 of my mother's children was in prison at one time. One day I go downstairs. Let me tell you, I read this book on the streets. Everybody that's on this live, if y'all ain't got the book, you need to get it. What it was, I read the book when I was on the streets because I had a praying auntie who named me. She was my great aunt. She was my grandmother's sister, and she didn't have any children, but she was good to all of us like we were her children. She the very first person that taught me about Jesus. She the one that told me about the Lord. I always used to make a joke and say, you've been saved, Undora, since Moses and them, because she was older. And when I lived with her, she allowed me to read a book called A Divine Revelation of Hell. And it was met by Mary Kay Baxter. And it took her 20 years to write the book, y'all, because God came and got her soul for 40 nights and took her into hell and told her to write a book and tell it to the world because he wanted them to know that hell was real. So since I read it on the streets, what it was, I had to go to jail so that I can sit here and talk to you today. I had to go to jail to be able to get y'all free. I had to go to jail to be able to teach some people on the inside about Jesus who didn't have a family that knew nothing about the Lord. I had to go to jail so all of them 12,000 six-figure chicks that's in my group that I wrote a letter to God about in 2007 in a prison cell, I would have never met these women had I not went to jail, because I'm going to tell y'all why. So my regular nurse this particular day, Shakira, she was sick. She was out. They bring in a nurse from another facility to come step in and take her place. Every evening before dinner time, I would have to check my blood sugar, and then my nurse would give me an injection. I was on a sliding scale of insulin. Depending on what my number was, it depended on how much insulin I got. So the lady was very evil. She was very she was very racist, disrespectful. She would not even call me by my last name, because usually in prison they call you by your last name. She kept calling me inmate, trying to degrade my mental, right? So she kept calling me inmate. After I pricked my finger, My blood sugar was about 200. And so I told her, I said, well, when it's about 200, this is about how much insulin I get. She draws up the insulin, and I looked, I said, that kind of looked like too much insulin. She said, it made, if you don't take this, this is my job. I know what I'm doing. I've been a nurse for such and such amount of years. If you don't take it, I'm going to say you refused and I'm going to throw you in a hole. I said, okay, well, we're not going to do that today, ma'am. I said, go ahead and give it to me, because my nurse would always give it to me, right? She gave it to me. So we go back upstairs, we wait 20 minutes, and then we go to chow. I went upstairs and thanked the Lord for my bunkie at the time. Her father was a diabetic who she took care of before she went to prison. So she knew all of the signs of a diabetic. Somebody going into a diabetic coma, somebody going into passing out from your sugar being too low. So soon as I sat down on the bed, there's a rush came over me. I started feeling lightheaded. I started pouring down with sweat. Even my wrist was dripping sweat. And she jumped off that top bunk. She said, you don't look good. It looked like you about to pass out. I said, I feel like I'm about to pass out. And I felt my baby fighting in there. Boom, 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 back like she was in a boxing match. And then next thing, nothing. So I go to child, but instantly I knew something was wrong. But this is the thing. A lot of times God will prepare us for situation. He always say there's warning before destruction. He always shows us warning signs before something happens. See, I told y'all about the divine revelation of hell, but what I didn't tell you is that I told my mama also, send me a divine revelation of heaven. I'm going to pass the hell book around because I already read it. So the deal was, one inmate read it. When you done, you pass it to your bunkie. Then the next, you pass it to the person in the next room, because I wanted them to know that hell was real. So then I started reading heaven, and when I got done, I was going to pass that book around and let them know what's on the other side. See, but in the book, 3 days before this happened, peep this, catch what I'm getting ready to say, Shakira, because I'm still standing even after this. 3 days before this took place, I was reading the book, A Divine Revelation of A Divine Revelation of Heaven by Mary Kay Baxter, the same author. I was reading, and when I was reading, my clothes was in the dryer. I was reading a chapter about a couple who was in a maternity ward. The wife had just had a stillborn baby. And the angels came and got the baby's soul and blew the breath of life back into the baby. And the baby's soul went to heaven. Soon as I read that, my dryer beeped, and we only have a certain amount of time to do our laundry. So I stuck my marker right there in the book and got my laundry, not knowing that 3 days later I was going to be the lady, but God. Not knowing 3 days later I was going to be the lady. 3 days later, just like Jesus. So my regular nurse was back the next day after that happened, because my bunkie ran downstairs. They got this shot, injected me real quick to make my blood sugar shoot back up. My blood sugar was 20. Even then, the enemy was trying to take me out, but I'm still standing. So they bust my blood sugar back up. I go eat. The next morning I get up. It looked like my stomach had deflated like a balloon. Now, mind you, I'm big 7 months pregnant. My stomach had deflated like a balloon. So I went downstairs to the nurse's station. Our regular nurse was back. I said, something is wrong. I said, my baby ain't moved all night. I've been shaking my stomach. I do kick count. She's very active. Something is wrong. Michaela ain't moved. I had already named her. And so she came in there. She put the little gel on my stomach, gave me the heartbeat. There was no heartbeat. They couldn't find one. So guess what I had to do? I had to be humiliated like Jesus. So guess what they did? They jumped me out, put me on an orange jumpsuit that said Department of Corrections on the back, shackled and handcuffed me, and took me to a regular hospital with an OBGYN doctor's office where married couples were sitting in there gawking at me. But I'm still standing. So they take me in the back and give me an ultrasound, and she's in there in a fetal position with no heartbeat. But guess what? God even sent me help right then and there, because the CO that was there with me that I had to labor and deliver a dead baby, she was a saved woman. She walked that hallway with me and she anointed me with oil. She had oil in her pocket. She anointed me with oil. When she prayed over me, she said, if I lose my job today, I did my part. I'm still standing. So they called my mama. They called my aunt, the one that sent me the book, and said, y'all get here. They not even supposed to do that. That is against the code. That is against all of the rules. But God broke the rules for me and said, come here, because they knew they had messed up. They didn't even allow me after I delivered the baby. I went into the deepest depression I had ever been in. I think that depression and the depression I went through with my sister passing away, they were neck and neck. So what they did, because they were so, my aunt told them, our last name gonna be the name of this prison. I'm gonna say, my mama was calling them every day. Y'all did this to my baby, this, that, and the other. Next thing I know, y'all, it was 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later, I get a bam on the door from the CO. Trammell, pack it up. I said, where I'm going? They said, you going to Cleveland, Ohio, which is only 30 minutes from my home. So my mama didn't have to drive 2.5 hours no more to bring my babies to come see me. But see, that was just the beginning of the setup for the come up to where I am today. So I get on this bus at 3 a.m., just like the prayer my mama do 7 days a week. 3 a.m., they wake me up, they put me on the bus. They never tell you when they coming to get you because it's a security breach. I'm still standing. They take me on this bus 2.5 hours to Cleveland, Ohio. And when I get there, Shakira, you know, now that I'm going to a different prison, you got to get a new ID because now you part of another prison system. So they get me in this prison. I'm there. They give me this bag with my bedding and my state blues and all of this stuff. And he said the officer had his back to me making jokes, but what he didn't know, what he was going to see when he turned around. So he said, I'm getting ready for the next inmate. I don't know what they in here for. He talking junk about me, not even knowing who I am, not what I did, nothing. So he got the last person's picture out, and then he turned around and he looked at me, and he gave me this look I will never forget. He said, what's your name? And I said, Tiffany Trammell. He said, you glowing. So I'm looking at myself, trying to see. I couldn't see it. He said, I don't know what you in here for, but I know you ain't no ex-prostitute. I know you ain't came in here trying to get cleaned up off no drugs. I know you ain't came in here for this, what the regulars come in for. I ain't even looked at your jacket yet. I don't know what you in here for, but it's something special about you. Favor. I'm still standing. So he gives me my ID. He gives me once he looked in the jacket to see what I was in there for. He said, oh, you get money. That's what you in here for. I knew it was something. I knew you wasn't the regular that come through here. And I just kind of just looked at him and I said, that's not who I am. He said, well, I looked at your unit and I'm going to be your sergeant. He said, so make sure you on your best behavior because I don't play. So now we giving each other a stare down. Not knowing that was going to be the man in 18 months after my release that changed my whole bloodline. See, y'all, that's why I tell you that I'm Joseph, because even though I was in the pit, I still was in the palace. Even though it looked bad at the time, it was still a setup for a come up, for a blessing. All the people that talked about me, now it's cool for them to be around me. See, sometimes people want to talk about you and kick you when you're down and talk about you at your lowest point, but they don't even know the story. They just, and then they see the glory. See, people start hating on you when they start seeing your glory. See, Shakira, you've been changed. You done went through the fire and then come out smelling like smoke. You done went through some things and don't look like what you've been through. And then people will hate on your glory, but they don't know your story. See, this oil costs something. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. So then I went ahead. I had already applied for my early release. Didn't hear anything from my judge. Didn't hear anything back. I'm calling my mama, tell her, call my lawyer. Is you hearing anything? I didn't hear anything, y'all. I didn't hear anything. So guess what I did? I was going to all the Bible studies. I wrote a letter to God. I told God, God showed me this vision because it was me and him during the time. God showed me this vision that he showed me in this auditorium with millions of people being on the stage, talking to them. I told him I wanted to help women. I wanted to let them know that it doesn't matter where you came from. All it does is matter where you're going. It don't matter what you've been through. It matter what you get through. It don't matter what you look like. Guess what? Because God got something for you on the other side. It don't matter what people say about you. It's about what you answer to, because you're still standing for a reason. So I go ahead. One day I'm in there. I went to my Bible study. I done wrote God this letter. I told him I want a good husband for my children. I want to be able to bask in his glory. I want to be able to use me, because see, some people don't want to be used. They want to be seen. It's a difference between the two. I said, you can leave me behind the scenes, but don't just use me so your people can see you when they see me. And then they know that it doesn't matter what you've been through or what you're going through. Guess what? If you got God on your side, it doesn't matter. You're still standing because God didn't allow you to die. Some of your friends out there locked up for life, but guess what? He had favor on your life. Some of your friends out there got something they can't get rid of, and they was out there being promiscuous. Guess what? You might have been promiscuous too, and God didn't allow you to get a single disease. I'm trying to tell y'all what favor look like. So one night I'm in there asleep, Shakira, and I get a knock on the door. They say, Tramo, pack it up. I said, where I'm going? They said, home. They put me on a bus in the middle of the night, took me to my county jail, and took me to court the very next morning. See, that same prosecutor, see, sometimes y'all got people. It don't matter how much you change your life. It don't matter the good you do for people. There's somebody that's going to always try to hold on to who you used to be. The same prosecutor was in the courtroom when I walked in there. My judge was bawling. She was red as these hearts that's going across this screen. They put me in, they brought me in shackles and handcuffs. My mama was sitting in the back of the room. My children were sitting in the back of the room in the courtroom. And y'all, it was crazy because guess what? That same prosecutor was still trying to tell her, don't let me out. Don't let me out. Don't let me out. And let me tell you something. Because of the amount, Shakira, let me show you how favor is fair. Because of the amount of my restitution, which was in millions of dollars, that's why I'm not moved by money. See, I keep telling y'all, I ain't moved by money because I didn't had it all, and I didn't also live somewhere where everything I owned was in a lockbox. So that's why I don't care about that. So I said it was in the millions of dollars. I didn't even qualify for the program. I didn't even qualify for the program because of the amount of restitution that I owed. So the prosecutor said, why is she here? Why is she here? We don't feel like she needs to get out. And my judge sitting there with tears in her eyes, she not saying one word. I keep telling people I'm Joseph because even though I was in the pit, I was in the palace. That's why I'm still standing. So the judge told everybody to rise. Everybody rose, and then she told everybody to sit down but me. She told me to come up to where she was sitting at to stand in front of her. So that I'm up there in shackles and handcuffs. She crying and I'm crying. She said, guess what? You going home today. She said, I apologize to you. You asked me to not send you to prison because something you wouldn't get the best care. She said, I feel responsible for what happened to your baby. I feel responsible for your loss. The prosecutor was talking. She told her, shut up. This lady's not going to no halfway house. She not going to do no more time. She getting out today. She going home with her family. She's done enough time. Her baby is gone. We can't give her baby back. You can't make that up with money. She said, but guess what? I bet not see you back in my courtroom. And I said, guess what? You ain't never got to worry about seeing me back in your courtroom. I said, because guess what I've learned? Don't hang with people that ain't got nothing to lose because they don't mind helping you lose everything you got. I said, that's what I got. I said, but guess what? That was a blessing that I went to jail. That was the most humbling and most blessing time. I'm going to tell you why, Shakira. And people be like, I can't believe you said that was peaceful. It was peaceful. People couldn't call me and ask me for nothing. I couldn't do nothing for nobody. Nobody couldn't try to use me. I ain't have nothing to give. It was just me and Jesus. I was in a quiet place. And even though it looked bad, it wasn't that bad. Even though it looked crazy to some people, it wasn't crazy. Even though it was something for people to talk about, it was something for me to talk through. Even though it was something for people to judge, guess what? God said, let the man without sin cast the first stone. And I don't know why they was throwing stones when they got a glass house, but I'm still standing. I'm just saying. So I go home, Shakira, and I started working dead-end jobs, but I watched R.A. Vernon on the TV every day. And I said, when I get out of prison, I'm going to that church. And I'm not a church hopper. That's why I'm not quick to join churches. So I go to the church. I got out on a Friday. I was in here. I got my tags on Saturday for my cars because they had expired while I was in prison. And I went to that church on Sunday. I said, Lord, this is when I knew that my relationship with God had changed. See, some of y'all ain't talking to God enough. That's why he can't hear you. You're not talking to him enough. You're not building that relationship with him enough. So you can't hear him or he can't hear you. So I told him, I said, if I'm supposed to join this church because I need a church home, I need somebody to pour into me, I need you to give me a sign. And I knew it was a mega church, something I said I would never do. I said, but I'm going because I've been watching this man for years. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and go to this church. When I went in there, Shakira, not only did he give me a sign, I got there 30 minutes early. Wasn't too many people in there. The welcome team was off the chain. But when I went in that church, the stage was set up like a prison. It was bars and it was gates and it was fences set up like a prison. He was starting a series called I Am Joseph. See, when it looked bad, it ain't all that bad. I keep trying to tell y'all, don't go by what it looked like in the natural, go by what it looked like in the spirit. So even though the enemy tried to set me up to kill me from a kid, to mentally destroy me, to physically destroy me, to make me think I'm less than, to make me think I'm not worth it, to make me think I'm not worthy, to make me think, some of y'all thinking that right now because you're going through the storm. The storm gonna cost you something. I just told you about my storm, and it happened to me for years. I was in the storm for years. I was tormented for years. Why? Because God knew that I had the bigger the calling, the bigger the storm. The bigger the anointing, the bigger the storm. The reason why you keep catching hell, because the blessing is going to be just as big as the storm. See, some of y'all don't want to go through the growing pain. It's called growing pains. You don't want to go through the growing pains. It don't feel good when it's the growing pains. You want to talk about the blessing, but you don't want to talk about the test. See, the test was for me, but the testimony was for the people. He kept telling me that. And so I work a couple dead-end jobs, and then one day I get on Facebook. After I moved to North Carolina for a year with my guy that I had the baby by that I lost in prison. Next thing I know, I'm fresh out of prison. He come get me, ain't came to see me the whole time. See how the enemy work? Ain't came to see me one time. Guess what I do? Run right back. Next thing I know, been out of jail 5 whole weeks, Shakira. My mama say that egg was on layaway. I found out I was pregnant with Taylor. Best baby ever. That's my loving baby. She's very loving. So I found out I was pregnant. I said, Lord, what I'm going to do with a third child? I'm fresh out of jail. I'm trying to rebuild my life. But the Lord heard my prayers. He heard my prayers. And guess what? One day I click on Facebook after getting off of a dead-end job. I click on Facebook and I see a post on Facebook from my sergeant saying he was having a hotel meeting to show people how to change their life from home. It don't cost you nothing. Just get the information, because some of y'all know everything sounds too good to be true. Everything ain't what it seemed to be. That's that broke mentality. Some of y'all got to get around some people that got some things that you desire and not got your solution and not your problem. Too many of y'all listening to people that got the same problem as you, that's broke as you, and you taking financial advice from them. That don't even add up. So I go to this meeting because he said, when you get here, he didn't know who I was. I look totally different. My last name was different. We ain't got no weave in there. We ain't got no lashes in there. He saw me at my lowest point. My name was different. I look different. So when we go to the meeting, he said, well, when you get here, I messaged him back on Facebook. I said, I'll come check it out. It ain't going to cost me nothing. I'll come check it out. Not knowing that was going to be the day that changed my whole life. I go to this meeting. He didn't even know who I was. He said, when you get there, there's a sign-in sheet out there. Sign your name in on the sheet and put me down as the person that invited you. So at the end of the meeting, there's a multimillionaire standing in front of the room by the name of Houghton Buggs. And when the meeting was over, he said, does anybody have any questions? Your girl, the first one to raise her hand. I raised my hand and he said, well, what's your question? I said, this sounds too good to be true. I said, my mama told me things like this was a pyramid. He said, that's because your mama got a broke mentality. See, some of y'all need that gut shot. That was a gut shot to me. I said, who you talking about? Who mama you talking about? Because I was ready to go in. But see, what he was trying to do was change the paradigm of my mindset, because you can't get the money till you change your mind. You can't get what you're chasing until you get around some people that already accomplished it. So what he told me was, he said, well, would you trade bank accounts with your mama? I said, no. He said, my point exactly. He said, how you taking financial advice from somebody that ain't got much as you? He said, that don't even make sense. So that day, he said, it's $1,500 to join at our highest pack. I said, Lord, I got about $1,100 I done saved. Where I'm going to get the other $400 from? But God told me, see, sometimes you can sow. You can sow your way in. Not buy your way in. It's the difference. You can't hustle God. That's the problem with some people too. Y'all want to hustle God. God knows what's going on. You can't hustle God. You can sow your way in, but you can't hustle. And I told him, I said, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, then I know you're going to make a provision. You said, if you give me a vision, you'll give me a provision. And guess what? I borrowed that other $400 and never looked back. But when I signed up, I went up to him at the end of the meeting. I said, you don't even know who I am, do you? He said, should I? I said, yeah, I'm Trammell, inmate number 67213 for the state of Ohio, a number I'll never forget, but I'm still standing. So he said, he said, Trammell, that's you? He looking me up and down. I said, yeah, that's me. And he told me, he said, I'm going to make sure your life is never the same. I told you when I saw you that day, you were glowing. See, some of y'all glowing and you can't see your own glow. So you're settling for less because you think you the throwaway. You ain't no throwaway. God give you the heart. He said he give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. And some of y'all, let me tell y'all what Romans 8:37 say. It said, in all things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. I'm trying to tell y'all, you more than a conqueror today. I know it may feel like you going through. I know it may feel like when I'm going to get my breakthrough. I know it may feel like why I feel like the devil fighting me. He fights you 7 times harder when you got a calling. That's why you can't be cool with everybody. I'm going to say that again. You can't be cool with everybody when you got a calling. I'm telling you, because the enemy sends people to, he'll send the people. And I want to go back and reiterate on something Shakira talked about last night. Shakira said, my God, our God, mama, our spiritual mother called her and told her when my mother and father passed. So I'm going to fast forward to now. I'm going to fast forward to me going through all of those years in network marketing and being business coaches and doing cryptocurrency and doing business credit. I had to get around the people that had my solution and not my problem so that I can go ahead and be a blessing to somebody else. Because even when I was doing bad, I still was sowing into the kingdom. Even when I was doing good, I was sowing into the kingdom. Even when I didn't know which way I was going to go, I was sowing into the kingdom. Some of y'all don't sow, so you don't reap. See, there's a harvest time and there's a reaping time. There's a harvest time and there's a sowing time. Some of y'all is off base. Your calendar is off. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm trying to help somebody today. So even though they talked about me, though they slay me, they talked about me. The same people that talked about me want to be around me right now. The same people that talked about me when I was in prison that owe me money right now. The same people that tried to serve my head on a platter is the same people that had to come to me and ask for forgiveness and prayer right now. And guess what? Because of the heart that God gave me, guess what I did? I forgave them. I prayed for them. I went through storms with them that they probably wouldn't have been able to get through. Because guess what? God said, you're going to have to love on your enemies. I'm going to prepare a table, but you don't gloat. You don't bask in that. You don't do any of that. You're still going to have to go ahead and bless them. And then guess what I'll do? He said, I'll even use your enemy to bless you. So sometimes he'll do that. But I went ahead and went forth and I worked hard day in and day out and was working and praying and fasting and praying and praying and praying. And then guess what? In one business, the next business I was in after that, he sent me my husband. See, he didn't send me. I've been married twice before. But like he said, some of y'all been in marriages and God never told you to marry that person in the first place. That's why it was hell on earth. And see, that's what he told me. He said, I never told you to marry those people. I didn't know the definition of marriage. I didn't know the example of marriage because I didn't have that in front of me. But my pastor showed us that he gave us the counseling that we needed. And see, God didn't give me Calvin prematurely because I wouldn't even knew how to handle it and love him properly if I wouldn't have got healed first. He had to wait till he healed me. See, some of y'all trying to prematurely jump the broom. You gonna just go do it on your own. I'm just gonna go ahead and get hitched. When you ain't had no marriage counseling, you ain't healed yourself, you broken. You talk about Ray gonna complete you. That's where you messed up at in the first place, because you should have already been complete when you met Ray. Ray shouldn't complete you. Ray should just add to you. I'm just saying. I'm still standing though. And so I met my husband. And we went through some things. And then God allowed us to be able to build a home and take in other children and help other people. And I tell people, be a blessing even when you need a blessing. You got to be the blessing sometimes. You got to sow into what you want. And guess what? God will give it back to you. And don't do it to get something back. I don't do it to get anything back. But I know he said he loves a cheerful giver. So that's what I did. I gave and gave and gave. And then over these last 2 years, over these last 16 months, I went through the toughest storm that I've been through in my life. And some of y'all is dealing with that right now, because me and Mama Gail was talking about we've never seen death at this rate. So that's the reason why I want y'all to get it together. Stop playing. You can't play. You can't be on the teeter-totter. This ain't double dutch. You can't be halfway in and halfway out. You got to be all or nothing. And y'all, in 16 months, that lady that I told you that named me, that's my great aunt that I love, that was like a second mother to me, she passed away. My father, I'm so glad that we fixed our relationship. We was ace. That was my dog. I'm his twin through and through. Our birthdays is 1 day apart. I'm so much like him. It's sickening. And he passed away. And then 7 months ago, 8 months ago, my mother passed away. So I lost all three of my supposed to be parents in 16 months, but I'm still standing. And see, what people failed to realize, God will use anybody to bless you. He used a witch. Let me tell y'all, he used a witch to bless me. And I'm going to tell you how favor can have you, God use a witch to bless you. Because I didn't know that my mother was going to pass away. I didn't know my father was going to pass away. My dad had already passed, but I definitely didn't see my mama coming. I didn't see that. And I got introduced to my spiritual mother, this lady who I hired to do a job for me. She actually introduced me to Shakira and my Mama Gail. She actually introduced Shakira to Mama Gail. See, let me show y'all this correlation. I'm going somewhere with this. So she introduced me to the lady that would take the mother role, because even when I was in prison and I lost my sister right beforehand, God told me anything he allowed me to lose, he would give it back to me and multiply it. See, I lost my only blood sisters, but God gave me many sisters. If y'all don't believe me, go to Six Figure Chicks. It's some of them that can be in my personal space, and then some of them is that it ain't. Some of them I'm just their coach. I'm their business coach. Some of them I'm in ministry with them. Some of them we do it all together. We do vacations, we do family, we do all kinds of stuff together. So me and Shakira is a mix. We working on some stuff together, and I'm gonna tell her something at the end that God told me to tell you, but I had to wait till I came on tonight. So blessed me with my Mama Gail, introduced me to Shakira, and then tried to sabotage our relationship, because I never was Shakira's enemy. Let me rephrase that from last night. I never was her enemy. She never was my enemy. What it was a misunderstanding that the enemy tried to do, because he knew if our gifts collided, there would be millions of people impacted, and he didn't want that to happen. That's why before I got on here, I had to pray against the spirit of backlash and retaliation, because anytime deliverance happens, retaliation happens. So what happened was, I paid a person to do a job, but even though God said what the enemy meant for bad, God meant for good. So even in that, trying to sabotage it, God had her connect me to the lady that would step in as a mama for me when my mother passed away, and has been more motherly to me than the only other person outside of my mama. I'm still standing. See, some of the things that I went through, I know some of y'all probably would have lost your mind. You would have lost it. You wouldn't have been able to handle it. You would have been like, Lord, I don't want to be here no more. Because sometimes people say, God, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to do this no more. Why me? Why am I going through all of this? I don't want to be on that no more. But let me tell y'all something. The reason why you still standing is because God has not given up on you. I don't care if you was a prostitute. I don't care if you was in prison. I don't care if you was a thief. I don't care what your family called you, because sometimes they can be your biggest haters. I don't care what nobody else said about you. Thus saith the Lord, whatever God got to say about you, that's all that matters. So tonight, this is what I want to leave y'all with. Did I go over my time, Shakira?
It's okay.
This,
it was
I'm
fine.
good.
Yeah, but
This is what I want to leave y'all with. No matter where you been, I don't care where you been. I care about where you going. I don't care what you did in your past. I care about what you're going to do in your future. I don't care if your mama didn't love you and your daddy left you. I don't care if your sisters and brothers turned against you. I don't care if your whole family, you the black sheep. Always remember, I like being the black sheep of my family, because guess what? I don't know nobody that got nothing nowhere where I want to be. So therefore, the black sheep eventually becomes the goat. So y'all know
Yes.
the reason why you're the black sheep, because you're going to be the goat of the family, and the people that is around you can't even be attached to you, because they might hinder your blessing. There's some folk that got to get from around you before God can bless you completely. You see what Shakira said last night when my mom passed away? She ain't never met my mama. I was just over here just going through it. I wasn't getting on Facebook asking for no prayers. I don't even know who y'all praying to. I don't know if you're going to P-R-E-Y on me, pray on me, or if you're going to P-R-A-Y. So I called the prayer warriors that I wanted to pray, that I know that sincerely love me with their whole heart, that I knew that never judge me, that I knew that when times got rough. See, some of y'all got people in your circle, but they ain't in your corner. That's a whole other subject. But I'm still standing. So y'all, I'm telling you, if they ain't down with you when it's all bad, don't let them be around you when it's all good. And God gave me this, Shakira, and then I'm going to go. God gave me this, Woman on Fire. He told me to call you. He told me to call Lady Gail. He told me to call Ashanti. I ain't even made the phone calls yet, but I'm letting y'all know, go ahead and get ready for this event. It's going to be called Woman on Fire. Because guess what? Even though we've been through the fire, we didn't come out smelling like smoke. See, some of y'all going through the fire right now, so it don't feel good. A diamond comes together under pressure. It don't feel good being a diamond. Because guess what? You got to go under the pressure. You got to be under the cooker. You got to be up under the fire in order to be that shine bright like a diamond. You got to go through that fire. But when you come out, you don't smell like smoke. And guess what? A diamond is one of the most expensive things. I want y'all to catch this. You're a diamond. So tonight, I'm going to tell y'all, be a cheerful giver. Get your seed. Bless this woman of God. She out here blessing everybody. She's dedicated every night. I see her on in the morning. I say, girl, I'm working. She trying to invite me to a live. She just out here just sold out for Jesus. But I'm with her too. Because guess what? When you've been through some things and all you've had was Jesus, when you couldn't get through nothing, you had to pray in the hallway. You had to pray through till something happens. Guess what? You would be sold out too. So I'm gonna tell y'all tonight. God gave me the number 8, new beginnings. This is your new beginning tonight. This is your delivery service. This is your deliverance. New beginnings. Get a seed, an $80 seed. I see 80. Get an $80 seed. Sow 80. Sow 80. Somebody going on here and say, I'm going to sow 80. Sow 80. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a new beginning for y'all. Y'all going to sow into this woman. I'm telling you, because she out here evangelizing. She on planes, trains, automobiles. She's driving. She on Facebook Live, like we said. Some people will never step foot in the church because they feel like they're going to be judged. But guess what? We can reach more people on social media anyway. Go ahead. Sow 80. I see 80. Get you a 180 seed. 180. So y'all, you got it. Don't buy the wig. Don't go on my website and buy the wig from me this week. Go on and sow your wig money. See, I'm gonna step on some toes tonight, because I tell y'all what y'all need to hear, not what y'all want to hear. Because you're still standing because of God. You're still standing. You didn't lose your mind like your friend did. You didn't get locked up like your friend did. You didn't lose your home when everybody else did. You're still standing. 180. And then it's going to be somebody out there that's going to have crazy faith. Somebody going to have crazy faith, and they're going to have 1,800. It's going to be somebody on here that say, look, I was going to take that and put it into this. When she sold that $1,000 to me and didn't even know my mama, when my mama passed away, her $1,000 seed turned into a $10,000 seed for us. Because it's reciprocity. That's what it is. It's reciprocity. She sold into me, and she sold into good ground. And God knows my heart, and God knows I help. And he know all of the things that I had on my plate. And he know I'll even give even when I ain't got. He know that I was still blessing other people's kids when my kids needed stuff. He know when my husband have seizures and in the hospital and we ain't getting no help from nobody, we still feeding other people's families. I'm just telling you. So when you sow on good ground, you reap a great harvest. Telling y'all. This right here, I'm gonna bless somebody with my book too. I'm gonna bless somebody. One of y'all inbox me. This gonna get y'all through. It's gonna be y'all roadmap from the pit to the palace. I'm a sow it. I don't want you to buy it. I want you to read it like I had those people reading the divine revelation of hell and the divine revelation of heaven. Every time you go through something, pick up my book and say, if she made it through, I can too. If she made it through, I can too. Put that in the comment. If she made it through, I can too. So 80, so 180, so 1800. Father, I ask you to bless every seed. I don't care if they got $18, if they got 18 cents, if they got $80.80, if they got 180.80, if they got 1800, y'all gonna spend it on a trip. Y'all gonna spend it on a Gucci bag. Y'all gonna, I'm stepping on some toes tonight. Y'all gonna get it on some Louis Vuittons. Y'all, cause y'all buy that stuff from me. I don't want your money today. Give it to sow it into Jesus. So that don't go to my website. Don't buy no wig. Don't buy no clothes. Don't buy none of that. I don't want y'all buy none of that. Don't buy my book. I want you to go and sow. Because if you sow on good ground, you will reap a great harvest. And I pray that everything that you have been asking God for in this season, after you sow fast. God just put that in my spirit. After you sow, fast. Because I need you to fast and pray and get in his face. He wants to have a conversation with you. You can't hustle your way in. Sow your seed, and then I want you to go fast so that you can reap your harvest, so that you can go on here and tell them what God did for you. So you can go on here and tell somebody, I was at my lowest point. I heard that lady lost her baby. I heard that lady went to prison. I heard that lady was raped and got a 25-year-old baby. I heard that lady was abused and beat by boyfriends. I heard that lady was backstabbed by people and she still blessed them. I heard that lady. And if God did it for her, because God is not a respecter of person, if he did it for her, he can do it for me. And then you got to get in his face and declare and decree what he already told you should be. And I ain't even no rapper. I just did that, but I'm still standing. So if I'm still standing, you still standing, because just like in the Bible, when they held that lady's arms up, that's why you need your sisters, because guess what? When you going through, we all going through, we gonna hold your arms up. When I was going through, Shakira was holding up my arm by sowing a seed for my mama. Somebody that sold into you, now you sowing to God's people. See, some of y'all get Hollywood, y'all get that money, and then you forget about who gave it to you. I know where my gift came from. You can't copy a gift. God said your gift to make room for you. He's making room for you with the gift that he gave you. Now you bless his people. Don't forget God's people. 80, 180, or 1800. I love you, Shakira. Thank you for having me on tonight. I hope this blessed somebody. I hope this lets somebody know that you're more than a conqueror. You the head and not the tail. You above and not beneath. You the lender, not the borrower. And you are more than people say that you are. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, sis. I love you. Woman on Fire is coming soon. I'm going to go ahead and have a Zoom with y'all. I got to share with y'all what God gave me. He just been giving me stuff in the middle of the night, and I just wanted to wait till I came on tonight, because guess what? We're going to do Woman on Fire, and it's going to be on fire. So y'all see, the number is pinned to the bottom, because I can't hear you, Shakira. The number is pinned to the bottom, 754-246-0580. That's for Chime, Zelle, Cash App. And if you're doing Cash App, you got to put in the full phone number, because people been faking and making, she's so hot, they want to be her. You know, they said, you know, it was a rap song back in the day when I was in the streets. They say back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Now she hot. They all on her. They want to impersonate her. So go ahead and make sure y'all put the full number in. Sow your seed. The number is at the bottom. Go ahead and sow your way in. Sow it to somebody else. If they ain't got it, I sold into a couple people last night. Sow into some people and watch what God does for you. I'll go ahead and give it back over to you, Miss Shakira. I love you. Thank you so much, sis.
I love you too. Is there any way you can tell them about the upcoming event?
Yes, so I have an event, a business event coming up October 13th through the 16th here in Houston, Texas. I'll share on my Facebook page. Miss Shakira gonna be on Sunday. Baby, they're gonna tear the house down. We're having, and when I say if God gave you a vision for a business, you better be at this event, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be fire all 4 days. It's gonna start on Thursday. October the 13th, we're going to have Vivica Fox in the building. I'm actually doing an event with her this Friday. I'm having Shakira fly in so she can meet her. We're going to have a fashion show on that Thursday night. She's going to speak to y'all about business and just taking your business to the next level. And then that night, we're going to have a fashion show, and she's going to judge the fashion show. That's Thursday. Friday, we're going to have the #1 motivational hip hop preacher in the world there, Mr. Eric Thomas. Some of y'all know him as E.T., the hip hop pastor. And this is what I'm saying. Look at what all came out of this. A prison girl. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. God can do anything. And then y'all send up some prayers for Master P and for Romeo. He lost his daughter, and Romeo lost his sister today. That's what I'm saying. The enemy is real. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Let's pray for their family. Let's show them some love on Facebook, and Instagram and Twitter and whatever else y'all on. They're also going to be here on that Saturday. We're going to have a private chef come in for people that got elite tickets that's going to be able to have a private luncheon with them. And then on Sunday, we're having a graduation. We having church. We going to hear from Dr. Shakira. Baby, these babies going to graduate. So if you have been in any of my classes, if you've been in my business credit course, if you've done my truck and dispatch course or my broker course, or if you've done any of my class, my dropship class, y'all going to graduate on that Sunday. And guess what? The dean, the president from the University of Houston downtown is going to be there giving the commencements and doing a speech. It's going to be off the chain. So that's why I told y'all, we don't play small. We go hard or we go home. And
What's
then
the
guys, y'all can
website?
follow me here
The
on
website.
Facebook. The
website.
website is imthebiggestboss.com. imthebiggestboss.com is the website for the event. And also you guys can follow me here on Facebook. On Instagram is Six Figure Chick. On TikTok is Six Figure Chick. So I'm excited about what everybody what's going to happen at that event. Me and Shakira doing a couple of events together. God told me to include her. That's why the enemy was trying to separate us, because God told me everything that she's she my little sis. She can't replace my sis, but she my baby sister. I cut you about her. I'm saved, but I still cut you. But he told me to include her in everything that I'm doing. And then also at the end of this year, I'm going go ahead and tell y'all, because we're getting ready to start doing a casting call. I'm releasing the play to my book. It's called From the Pit to the Palace. So that is being written right now. We're getting ready to do some casting calls for that, for that next month. So I'm excited for everything that God is getting ready to do. My sister Shakira, she all over the globe. She doing all of these speaking engagements and stuff like that. And y'all gonna see a lot of us together, because God told me, give her access to the platform that I have. I know she got a big platform of her own, but he told me to give her the access. See, sometimes y'all prematurely give people access that should never have access. He told me to give her the access that she needs to these celebrities, to everything I got access to, she got access to. And y'all, I'm telling you, this is about to be off the chain. So y'all, I love y'all. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Favor is fair. I'm thebiggestboss.com. Y'all go and get your tickets. I even have a payment plan on there for y'all. So y'all go on there, get your tickets. Don't miss it. Don't make no excuses. We don't make excuses. We make adjustments. I'm still standing.
I love you. I'll call you after, sis.
All right.
Listen, y'all just heard. I'm telling you, that testimony was fire. And when I tell y'all, I got some more upcoming testimonies, some more. Listen, I got some stuff going down. Listen, the woman of God, this was night 9. This wraps up night 9 of our 30-day social media revival. The woman of God, and watch this, she was on live last night, sowing for all kind of people who didn't have seeds. She said to go and sow in the amount of $80, $180, $1,800. Always tell people to pray before you give, because your faith got to line up with what she said out of her mouth tonight. You know, if you've been in bondage, you know, if you need God to change your whole name, your whole identity, you know, if you need God to place somebody in front of you to bless you, you know, if you the underdog, you know, if you was the ugly duckling of the family, you know, if you've been counted out, put a seed. God is putting speed on our seeds in this season. The information is to the bottom to sow for Cash App, Chime, Zelle, and PayPal. It's 754-246-0580. If you're doing Cash App, you have to put in the full number. Dr. Shakira M would pop up because it's so many people making fake Cash Apps. If you're putting that number in with Zelle, Gum Ministries would pop up. God use me. GUM Ministries. Go and sow that seed. Put it in the ground. Listen, you get sometimes you gotta pray and say, God, is this the night I'm supposed to give? Is this the night I'm supposed to give? $80, $180, $1,800. If you are someone who sold, I want you to comment below, I sold. I want you to just comment below, I sold, I sold. It's a bunch of people jumping off because they're sowing right now. Night 9. And shout out to everybody, man, who said, I don't care if it's Memorial Day, I'm tuning in. This thing that Dr. Shakira McFadden is doing is blessing my whole soul. There are people that will never go in a church, and I'm going to be the only church they see. So I'm opening up all kind of virtual doors. To God be all the glory. It's so many testimonies that have been drop there. Thank you so much, Queen Deshaun Davis. She's putting the information. I sold. God, please bless everybody who sold in the amount of 80 tonight. God, somebody might have only sold $8, somebody $10.80, somebody sold $1,800, God. Somebody sold the 180 to 80, somebody sold 160 because they sold for them and somebody else. God, you know that they're giving according to their heart, but we ask that you bless them with the desires of their heart. God, give them connections like you've given me. Give them connections like you've given her in this season. God, you get the honor, glory, and praise. We thank you that the unexpected is coming back 1,000-fold in the name of Jesus. Amen. Turn on your notifications so we can let you know when I'm going live. 10 p.m. every night for the next 30 days. Then tomorrow night is 19, and I'm bringing on a heavy hitter. He ain't even playing. You better get what I'm saying to you. Tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern down. It's going all the way down. You don't want to miss it. You might be saying, you know what, Dr. Shakira McFadden, it's people who I want to see these lives, but they don't got a Facebook. Good, go to YouTube. Type in Shakira McFadden. I upload all the videos there. Send in the link. Follow me on Instagram at evangelist.shakira. I only got one Instagram. Follow me on Facebook at Shakira McFadden. Follow me on TikTok. Message me. I follow back. You can get me the quickest way there at Evangelist Shakira. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Blessings upon everybody. Some sold from their heart today. Some sold by tagging and sharing. Man, I love all y'all for rocking with me. Now go back and eat your greens, beans, tomatoes, ham. Y'all know I ain't got no sense. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Good night.